What's up, family? You're tuning in Real Ass Real Radio 104.1, your nightcap of comedy. My name is Cam Miller in the big chair tonight. James is supposed to be here, but he having issues with his internet. We can't say the name of the company because right now we in a battle with them dudes. Thanks, Jeff Kaufman, for representing us. Anyway, I'm Cam Miller. I'll be running the show tonight, man. I'm joining the Virtual Studio with my comedy brothers. I'm gonna kick it off with my big dog himself, Mr. Miguel Colon Jr. What's up, my brother?
What's up, man? Yeah, the internet company rhymes with rectum because that's the kind of internet it provides. And I got them. I got them because they're like, hey, you want internet for a nickel? I'm like, do I ever?
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, there was a bird flying around today, so you lost your signal.
Hey, the thing about my city, if it rains in the Popka, I just know the internet done. I'm done with internet. But another company just ran fiber in my neighborhood, and I was mad because they tore my yard up. You know how about my yard?
Yeah.
So I had to call this 800 number for them to come out and resod the yard. But I'm thinking about switching over to them because I only use Rectum for internet. I don't use it for anything else. You know what I'm saying? I stole. Shout out to my homie Devin for the YouTube TV. So I got the cable on lock. I don't need cable.
Listen, Rectum. So, I've called Rectum before when I'm having bad internet, and they're like, it's probably because it's raining. And I'm like, no, the sun's out. They're like, oh, too much sun.
Hey, man, we also got another special guest in the building with us, our comedy brother himself, who was just out here reffing wrestling in Mount Dora. He's going to tell us about that from the law office of Kaufman and Lynn and the Under Oath podcast, Mr. Jeff Batman Kaufman. Jeff, what's going on, brother?
Man, I'm good. I realize I might be too old to be doing stupid stuff in the ring, but I'm good.
Did you get beat down, though? Did you know how
I got beat with a bag of rocks?
That's
a bag of rocks this woman hit me with.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Nothing better than the ref getting hit by the chair. Like, as a kid in wrestling, the ref getting hit by a foreign object. By the way, don't know why it's foreign. It ain't left the country or nothing.
Because it was made in China.
Bro, so if y'all listen to Jeff ref the Monsters Wrestling, right?
Yeah, it was the NW Monsters of Wrestling World Order MWO or something like that.
So Jeff was a referee, and right before we came out, we were talking about how the wrestling is not real. It's theater.
It's theater. It's athletes. And I'm saying this, if you ask me, is wrestling a sport? No. Are wrestlers athletes? Yes. They're incredible athletes, but it's not a sport. It's theater. You know, it's theater.
Yeah.
Well, I'm in denial of that because every time I watch somebody say that in front of one of these big MFs,
man,
they get their ass beat.
Hey, dude. Hey, man, I was telling them this story, bro. The algorithm got me watching all of Undertaker clips, who, by the way, has to be one of the coolest human beings on. When you watch an Undertaker interview, like, yo, when can I have a beer with this guy?
He's the mayor of a town right now, too, isn't he? Or is that
Kane? That was Kane. That was Kane.
Yeah.
So he's getting interviewed. He's telling the story how they were in Kuwait doing a WWE promo, and it was him and Vader were supposed to wrestle that night, and they were on the Good Morning America of Kuwait, Jeff. Like, they would get interviewed. He said it was the end of the interview, and the guy asked Van Vader, is this fake? And Van Vader beats the dude up.
Yeah.
And then they get in the car and they take off. And they get to the hotel, and the Kuwait army comes and arrests Van Vader in Kuwait. And that's how the Kane Undertaker feud started, because Kane was the only one there. So they had to wrestle. Somebody had to be on the card.
I would have got my ass whooped, and I would have just rolled over and looked at it and be like, see, that's real. But the rest is fake. And just pass out.
Yo, it's an old clip. If you look it up, it might be Terry Funk, one of them older wrestlers. And the guy's like, "This is real," and he just starts smacking him. Is that real? Bop. Is that real to you?
Oh. Look at some of the old stuff where Hulk Hogan chokes the dude out and the guy, what's his name? He was in one of those Law and Order shows. Belzer, the guy,
Richard Belzer.
Richard Belzer had his own show, his own talk show, and he was going, "This is fake, this is fake," and he was messing with Mr. T. And Hulk Hogan puts him in a lock and knocks him out cold. Knocks him out.
This is always gets me about that when wrestlers when you're like, oh, wrestling's fake, and they're like, oh, is this fake? And I'm like, I didn't say you whooping my ass right now wasn't real. I said it's fake. It'd be like talking to somebody you like, man, that Transformers ain't real. And then they throw you in a car and crush it. They're like, was that real? Yeah, that was real, bro. I'm just saying the movie wasn't.
Man.
And I don't screw around with that stuff. I'm sorry.
I would, hey, man, you couldn't tell me, you couldn't tell 5-year-old Ken to 25-year-old Ken that this was fake. You couldn't tell me, bro. Like in our head, and now I feel like what's killing it is all of these wrestlers are coming out telling their stories.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, man. Like we had, so he had to put me over because I, pooped on myself. Like when CM Punk pooped on himself, like they're telling these stories, and now the fans are like, it's not, it's not believable anymore. Because to me, it was believable. Dude, Shawn Michaels kicking you in the face. That the sound of it, it's like that was believable to a 10-year-old kid, bro.
Well, I watch Amber Nova and Hollywood Haley or something. She's on a Netflix show, and these two were slapping each other, and they were stomping because they were outside, and I could hear it coming across their chest, and I was going, God, these women are beating each other pretty hard. It was. Have you seen the
Ric Flair 30 for 30?
Yeah.
When he talks about how they teach him to punch the string until it doesn't move. So there's a string hanging from the door, and he has to punch it into where they teach him to where you hit the string, but it doesn't move. So that's how they do it. So they hit you, but it apparently they're not hitting you. I don't know.
I wish they would talk about how to do that.
There's a way.
Smack the string, but don't actually smack it. I would have hey, think about this. If you could have convinced your dad, hey, listen, you could pretend like you whooping me harder and the rest of the kids will fall in line, but it's really wrestling. So like you talking to your dad's like, oh, you ain't clean your room. He's like stunning you, doing the punches and stomping. The rest of your brothers and sisters are like, no, daddy, you gonna break his back. You're like, let's do this. Hey, afterwards, feel like you taking me to the hospital. Let's go to Denny's. Sounds good, kid.
He throws you off the roof of the house.
Yeah. Takes one of those chairs across your head. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you what. This girl hit me.
Like, what happened?
This woman hit me with like a bag of something, or like a sock of something, and I said, "Oh, it's not gonna be that bad." This thing knocked me down. I mean, I was laying on the ground. I had a headache all night. I was like, man, even these little things, and that's why all these wrestlers are all, on pain pills and everything else, because it's a game of inches, man. And you slip up by a second, these people are getting hurt really bad. So, I mean,
in old school wrestling, they were getting paid like $19 and be like, find your way home from Tokyo. Son, it was like Spider-Man. I got you in here for 3 minutes of playtime.
Yeah, you watch any of them documentaries, bro. They talk about the money, and that's all sports, bro. You talk about, like, I was watching the NBA documentary, and they were making like $24,000 in the 70s, and then going to work a regular job. Can you imagine you go to work at Dr. J in the cubicle? you sit there, and Dr. J next to you answer the phone. Thanks for calling. Granted, hey, Miguel, he over the cubicle like that.
Yeah.
Like, what is you doing here, bro? I got a game tonight. In Tampa, B. Can I leave early?
No, you got to knock out. You got 5 more calls to make.
You got 5 more calls to make.
Baby, is Wilt Chamberlain our bailiff? I know we getting divorced right now, but is that Wilt the stilt right there?
Hey, Wilt Chamberlain, like, hey, man, put your right hand on the Bible. I swear. Hey, dog, I went to the Army recruiter. What is Larry Bird doing here?
I tell you what Larry Bird's doing here. He's going to get you a good contract if you go infantry, baby. Larry Bird in the 1970s. I get you a $37 signing bonus within 6 years.
Oh, my goodness. Dog, I had a show last night, bro, and I met a lady, man, and she was supply. And, bro, she was telling me about her military career. I was like, man, sorry. I was like, I was in the White House. She was like, how? I said, because I ain't picked supply.
Yeah, sorry, I studied for my ASVAB.
Yeah, I was like, yo. She was like, I went to Korea and I got out. I couldn't take it no more. I said,
She couldn't take working in the warehouse. It was like UPS for the military, man. Come on, stop it.
I'm sorry, bro. I said, she was like, how you get that job? I said, man, I did good on my ASVAB. You must not have took yours. I said, you must not have took yours, man. But yeah, man. So Jeff, it was a good one.
Yeah, it was. There were so many people there. There were like thousands. It was a barbecue event, but it wasn't the guy from Porky's. You know, they had their truck there. You know, the people who do. Where are they out of?
Yeah, out of St. Cloud.
The one. Hold on, we talking about our Porky?
Yeah, our Porky.
Vinny. Okay. I thought because it's another one in the pop. I don't know if it's still
gone. No, the guys who run the comedy.
I might have shut that down too. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I
shut barbecue restaurants.
I shut barbecue places down, bro. You know that.
Yeah, so that was fun, man. There was some okay barbecue. There was decent barbecue. There just wasn't a lot of it. There were like 5 trucks. And when I do a barbecue event, I expect like 50 trucks, those 4-story trucks with all the awards in the window. And I go from place to place going, oh, what are you known for? Where this? We won this one. We won.
Is that Dominique Wilkins working the barbecue truck?
Yeah, basically.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Eric, the other booker for
Eric Godfrey,
he won like some bacon competition there. I think.
King of Bacon. That's what.
King of Bacon. Yeah. He does.
He wanted us to do one of our shows. He goes, you guys should do your show at my place.
We were thinking about it during during COVID. Yeah. We were talking about going over there to do it.
Yeah, so he's the guy who got us. What's the show we on, bro?
Newsfuse.
Yeah, Eric is the guy who hooked us up with Newsfuse. So shout out to Eric Godfrey, Porky's Comedy Club, man.
I did October for Newsfuse, guys. That's when we find out if we get nominated for an Emmy or not.
Yeah,
Suncoast Emmy.
By the way, I just want you to know I was scared because the primetime Emmys just aired. I'm like, hold up, did they forget about us? Did we miss it? Is it Emmy season that we miss out, bro?
End of October, I believe, is when Suncoast Emmys get announced, and we find out if we're Emmy nominated. And then
we have time, or are we going to break soon?
We got 2 minutes.
Yeah, my favorite is we had our show Thursday night, and there's this dude in the front row vaping, and Miguel goes, what's going on in here? And I'm wondering, I didn't see the guy do it, but I suddenly saw this cloud.
I just saw the cloud of smoke. Yeah, I saw the cloud. He was with the girl that he slipped the drugs into the drink.
Yeah, he Cosby'd that girl. That girl was
she was like
in bad shape.
Helen. She had an old school name.
Her name was Helen. We were like, where you from? She was like, New
York. She didn't know what borough she was from. That's how lit she was.
I'm trying to stay awake.
My wife done ran up on me, scared the hell out of me, bro.
Yeah, she heard you say the word Helen.
Yeah,
that was enough.
Heard me say another girl name about to swing on me.
Oh, you know where you at.
Oh yeah, man. That was funny because she didn't want to be no part of the show, which is weird because he always sit up front.
Yeah.
Like he could have told her, like, yo, you gonna get picked on.
She ain't know. He told her, he was like, just don't remember my face.
Yo, but when we come back from break, we'll talk more about the show, man. Jeff, I just want to know how wrestling went and how it was, because I saw the pictures and everything, man. Yo. Yeah. You gotta go. You need to go get a scan. You good? You got a concussion?
I couldn't take any medication. I was like, I better not take anything tonight. I had a big headache, and you can't take any meds when you think that you got smacked good.
Hey, you know how it is at a black house too. You get smacked like that. What they tell you? Don't go lay down. Don't go to sleep. Yeah. I don't know where that came from, but don't lay down.
Tussing on it. Yeah.
Don't lay down, man. But hey, we got to take a commercial break, man. We'll be right back. Real Laughs, Real Radio 104.1. 3, 2. We're back. Real Laughs, Real Radio 104.1, your nightcap of comedy. My name is Ken Miller and the Big Cheddar Night. Guys, do me a favor, man. Go out there and follow us on social media. Just search Real Laughs on any platform, man, and follow us. Go subscribe to the YouTube page. And if you're into podcasts, you can go listen to us on podcast format. Go to iHeart, search Real Laughs. 8 years, over 1,000 episodes, man. Make sure you check us out. I'm running the show tonight. James is having issues with his internet with Rectum. So James is out, and he also has an early flight. So it's all good, man. So virtual studio, myself, Miguel Colon Jr., and Jeff Kaufman from the law office of Kaufman and Lynn. Had a good comedy weekend. Thursday, we had an All for the Money, which was so much fun. Shout out to Ali Flores. Had a real good time. Small crowd, but you understand we had the Locks 2 blocks down, and apparently Sebastian Maniscalco was at the Amway Arena.
Yeah, there was.
How do we compete with that? I mean, come on.
So
I know it's the Locks, bro. How do you?
Hey, only reason I found out about Sebastian, I'm walking to my car to put my stuff in the car to head over to Corona, and somebody almost runs me over, and I look over and it's Pedro and his wife, and I was like, "What are y'all doing down here?" They're like, "Yeah, we were at the Amway. We went to go see Sebastian, man." And so we held the light up. I'm talking to them while the light green, and we holding all the traffic up, man. That's the only reason I knew that he was down there, because it was packed downtown. It was stupid packed downtown, man. So shout out to everybody that came out to All for the Money. We had a good time. You heard before we went to break, a dude was in the vaping. I'm with you, Jeff. I didn't even see him smoke. I just saw the smoke in the air. So I thought somebody did. I thought y'all did something on stage. I said, so who up here doing magic?
I came up there like, this is a haunted house. It's all hazy.
I said, who doing magic in here, bro? Hey, Miguel.
Is this your card? I didn't draw a card. So
hey, Miguel,
it could be.
I appreciate the video, bro. The cooking crack cocaine.
I watched crack on
40
stage.
times, bro.
Fire.
It was hilarious, dog.
So this episode or this show we had, it was back to school. So we each took on a role as an educator, and James did history, Ken did science, and I did health. And Ken came up with a lab coat and taught the audience how to cook crack, which, you know, afterwards you watch a comic set, you're like, oh man, I don't want to be like you should have, but you got an idea. Ken, I wish you would have been like, when I make my crack, I like to add a little lemon pepper, you know, and then one bay leaf, just one bay leaf in there.
Just odd stuff, yo. Throw in a pinch of oxtail.
Make sure you pull the bay leaf out, you know, run it through a cheesecloth, you know, like a TikTok video.
Oh, bro, I had a good time, man. That was a lot of fun. Like, again, shout out to Adi Flores, man, who's perfect for this.
Yeah.
Like, Adi Flores is one of those comedians. He's perfect for this, man. He does sax. He does improv. So pause. And so he was perfect for it, man. So how do you guys think the show went? How was it for you guys?
I thought it was good, man. I thought it was, you know, for me, you know, I'm just trying to make sure people are happy. I want to make sure that, you know, we're putting on good product. You know, sometimes the numbers I look at sometimes and I wonder, you know, Thursday night's a tough night to do comedy because people, you know, they have work in the morning. So a lot of people can't go out on a Thursday night. So, you know, for me, I think our show is better than it ever has been. And, you know, this was our, 8th or 9th show. So I really appreciate what we've been able to accomplish. So yeah, I felt really good about it. Like I said, I've been busy. I've been rock star busy. And then knowing that I had the wrestling on Saturday, which was an all-day event. And when you're out there in a tent and it's like, you know, it's just hot beyond hot, you know. And I realized one thing, you know, in the NBA, when you watch that old ref, there's one old ref out there who just won't retire. You know, you can see him running and he's like going, I don't want to run this one. I don't want to do this one. That kind of felt like me. I was sitting there going, because there was a younger ref who reffed the first 4 matches. I was the guest ref. I was the big ref. But this one kid was like, I mean, he was like in his 20s. He's running around doing circles, sliding into doing everything. I'm going, I ain't doing anything. You know, I'm just going to do what I can do.
Watching a wrestling ref, like, especially when I hear people, because we've worked with a lot of wrestling stuff at the Sausage Castle, and I've heard lots of dudes, and I love when dudes tell me, they're like, yeah, man, I'm going to wrestling school right now to be a ref. And I'm like, bro, can you just count to 2 and then pass out or get knocked over? Can you fall down, or can you just make sure you're not looking when something important's happening? That's it.
Yeah. No, I'm telling you, I went to a 2-day class. I've done it about 20, 30 times. It's complicated because you have to know where not to be. And that's the hard thing because the camera,
school is teaching you what not to do. You're talking to Carmen Malone now.
Yeah. I didn't say anything, but I mean, point is, it's hard, man.
Let me teach you guys what not to do. Jokes. You'll be back. You'll be back next semester.
Why do you want to get me in trouble? Because you know they're going to come down on me.
Hey, man.
Who's
You'll
this
show up and you
young comic. I'll tell you who she is. My opener.
Hey, I tell you this, I did tell Ali Flores that I feel like his comedy class is probably hands down one of the best.
It is
All,
because Ali
all
Flores,
them kids
look,
are funny, bro.
all them kids are funny, man. And it's also, you know, comedy classes. This is what I always say about comedy classes, man. The truth is, whatever you need to do to feel confident to get on stage, do it. I just needed to go up and do it. But some people want a class, and there are some things people have learned. No class is going to teach you how to be funny, but maybe some classes will teach you how to write, how to work as a team. How I tell you, one of the things that comedy classes I would have learned terminology. I know this sounds dumb, but I still always remember Marley Starr kept inviting me to come hang out in this room. He's like, I got this room, bunch of cool dudes. You should come kick it with us. And I was like, uh-oh. I'm not going there because I thought a room meant like a hotel room. I didn't know he's talking about a comedy room. He kept being like, yo, I got this room. Bunch of us are going to be there all night if you want to come. And I was like, oh, this butthole's not getting raped. Thank you.
Yeah, because you don't know the terminology. I didn't know feature, guest spot, headline. I didn't know any of those things. I just knew you got on stage. So when I got invited to come do a feature, the first time I got asked to feature, and I was like, well, what's that? And Pat Garrett is like, you got to do 25 minutes of comedy. I said, of whose comedy? Because it ain't mine. Because I don't got 25 minutes. Playboy.
Yeah, Dean did that to me. I was hosted for Dean, and I had like 5-10 minutes total. I had my penis picked. That was it. That was the only thing I had. And Miguel taught me it. So that's all I had in the arsenal. And he shows up. He goes, yeah, I don't have a feature. So what are you going to do, about 20, 25? And I was too embarrassed to let him know that I didn't have 25. So an hour later, I went, me and the Russian went upstairs. And I said, I got to find 10 minutes. And we ran around, tried to come up with some stuff. And I did 25. And I think afterwards, he kind of gave me that look like going, did you just made all that up as you were going.
Yeah, he's like, okay, so you didn't have that.
No, but I was proud, but I realized that a lot of new comedians, what I notice about them is they're too proud. Their stuff has to be, whatever they do. It reminds me of like comic book artists and writers who they write that first book and it's not good. And they're still willing to show it to you year after year after year because they don't improve upon it or they don't do anything new. And that's what they have. And that's a tough thing. Like even after the show we just did, I got that set. I'm going, all right, I need to clean that set up. It's a decent set, but it's not going to be ready for about 5-10 different things without cleanup. And you guys have taught me that, to always clean up your stuff, be solid with it.
I hope other jobs don't have this problem. I hope there's a doctor like, whatever, she died giving birth, but I did good. I did good. And there's like
they're not lawyers. Like, lawyers are the same way though. Lawyers
are there lawyers like that? Jeff, are there lawyers
horrible.
Who just lose cases and they're like, nah, this one was hard. It's like, bro, there's a videotape of your client not being there. Be like, yeah, you know, that could have been anybody not there.
Yeah. I'm not kidding. We had a public defender with us at the time. I can't mention his name because he still might be alive. But if you got him, you knew you were in bad shape. And everyone, let's call him Buddy. It like, I don't want Buddy. And you'd be this guy's partner. And what would happen is they would swap, you know, somebody'd have a problem with you for some reason. They'd make up something they're mad at with you. And then they wound up getting Buddy. And then they were like begging you to take him back. No, I don't want Buddy. I'll take you, you know. And I go, sorry, you got the Buddy.
You're like, hey, this is your new public defender, Buddy. Damn, I'll take a deal. And then the prosecution's like, hey, chill out, actually, man. We may have found the guy. Nah, I can't risk it. I'll take a deal.
I got lunch. I got lunch.
I do the 3. I do the 3 years.
Yeah, I did the 3. Prosecutors like, hold on, kid. I never do this, but the police got somebody, matches the description, the fingerprints were, I got Buddy. Let's just roll out. Let's do the 3. I'd rather. And then Buddy's sitting there nodding. You see that? In and out. That's why they come to me.
Hey man, hey Jeff, I'm like that. I'm like, man, if I know I can't do it, I'm the first to be like, look, man, I'm not. I'm not like I've been doing these church shows lately, and I've been doing well at them. But dude, before the show, I'm like sweating.
Yeah,
because it's not what I do. You know what I'm saying? So it's not what I do. Like the one I had last night, bro. Like I murked. But before I got on that stage, bro. I'm talking about my heart was in my, you can see my heart beating in my stomach, bro. Because it's not what I do. But these other comics don't care. they'll be like, they got 10 minutes. They be like, yeah, I'm a headliner. I can headline you. Bro.
Jeff, have you ever been going against a lawyer that like, so you always work, you never work for the prosecutors, right? You worked
I
as
worked
defense.
no, I worked at the Dade County Prosecutor's Office for 3
Okay,
months.
so when you were prosecutor, have there been times you're going against a lawyer and internally you just feel bad because you're like, this person has not got a good lawyer?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, because I know you're competitive and you want to win, but I also know you like the law. You want to win the right way. You want to win clean against somebody.
No, if I don't have it, you know, in a situation like that where somebody's life is on the line and it's that important, you know, there's no reason, you know, there's no real benefit to you to do something like that other than your ego. And I would tell somebody, I had one guy, it was a terrible attorney, and this guy was yelling at me and everything else like that. I said, you are going to yell this client into jail. What is wrong with you? I said, I don't want any jail, but you're going to figure out a way to put this guy in jail. And that was tough because your office, and people don't realize, your office decides whether somebody's going to jail or not. And
right,
it's
not
different based on the
itself,
city. Yeah, based on the city you're in, they might go, okay, we're tougher on DUIs, we're tougher on marijuana than we would be a county over. And you could have a hang 'em judge in a hang 'em county, and they just want their pound of flesh, man. And I don't think how you can stay in that job.
That's crazy to me, man, because I base the law off of what I see on TV. And it's like, hey, the prosecution wants you to go to jail. The prosecution wants, I don't care what it is on TV, the prosecution wants some jail time, bro. I ain't never heard the prosecutor be like, we don't really want him to go to jail. So when you're telling me that, Jeff, I'm like, that's crazy because TV is like, because I know one thing, Miguel, if Jeff, you was a prosecutor, I know who you wouldn't be is Matlock. Matlock can eat your ass up, son.
I love, you know what I love on those law shows where halfway through the case, the prosecution realized it might be somebody else and they do like an elaborate investigation. I'm like, hey, bro, they're invested in this. Okay, that's your job too. I like Mr. McCoy is going to let this cop wear a wire because turns out Miguel might not have been the one who did. It don't matter at this point, dog. You're gonna have to prove you weren't.
Yeah.
No, they're letting you go to jail, dude. Yeah. Nobody's changing that. Nobody's changing it.
Hey, Jeff, you watching Law and Order and Buddy walk in, you're like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I see. Got this one.
Yeah. There's no way.
Law shows are always the same. The prosecutor's losing the whole time, especially like Law and Order. He's losing the whole time. At the last minute, secret evidence comes in.
Yeah.
It's always, you know, you didn't have the case going all the way to trial and you're hoping at the last minute somebody shows up.
Did you order the code red? Did you order the code red? You're goddamn right I did. No, that colonel would have been like, you ordered the code red? Hey, this lieutenant yelling that. Hey, I know we had a JAG trial, but hey, somebody.
I've been in military trials.
Yeah.
No, you have no rights, and your JAG lawyer don't care about you.
Yeah,
you know, he's worried about his own promotion.
That's all UCMJ, bro. They can care less.
Because that whole room is made up of other officers who want you to fail.
Yeah,
you know, so you keep your head down. And you're going, okay.
And the jury, the jury's loving this. They're like, jury's like, we're supposed to be in the field today, man. We keep this up for a week, guys. We good.
With that being said, we got to take a commercial break, man. We'll be right back. Real Last Real Radio 104.1. Real Last Real Radio 104.1, your nightcap of comedy. I am Ken Miller in the big chair tonight. Guys, make sure you go out to all the social media platforms. Please follow us by searching Real Last. Go out to YouTube, subscribe to our page. And also, if you are into podcasts, you can go to iHeart app, search Real Laugh, and we are in podcast format. James is out tonight because he's having some internet issues with Rectum. Join us virtual studio with Miguel Colon Jr. and Jeff Batman Kaufman from the law office of Kaufman and Lynn. We were just talking about prosecutors and all that stuff and people want you to get in trouble. I've worked at jobs and Jeff, you as in the military too. There are people out there who want to fire you.
Yeah,
like they don't want to help you get better. They look forward to getting rid of you. Like, I fired 3 people last week. Like, so now they don't have a job. Are you proud of that? Like, that's your go-to, bro?
Dude, I have employed up to 500 people. And I have to tell people all the time, I said, listen, you don't like the way you feel bad that this person's getting treated badly. People are going to find somebody to go after. And I had to, it's so weird to have that conversation. I had this one woman who worked for me, and she goes, you know, they're picking on this person. I said, you better hope she don't get fired, because they'll come after you next.
Yeah.
And she was like, what? I said, that's how it happens. People in the office, they want their enemies. They want somebody to have conflict
to hire
with.
a cripple gay dude. And I'm like, good. That should hold off for a while. Keep me safe.
Oh.
Yeah. Hey.
Look at Tyler with that purple wheelchair. He think he better than all of us.
Yeah. hey, let's go move the ramp.
Yeah. Hey, let's put it the opposite way. Like we built a track on Excite Bike and it wasn't right.
That Excite Bike.
Hey, when I was
killing me.
When I was doing like lunchroom freestyles when we all thought we were rappers, I used to always a go-to whack ass line of mine was building tracks like Excite Bike.
Yo, I used to watch the Freestyle Friday, the dude, but I put a hole in your head like a Krispy Kreme. I was like, what?
I just watched the video when they were like, you can be anyone you want in a freestyle. And it's all these dudes just saying, like, the dude's like, I'm like Papa Smurf. And they just cut it. And you don't know why. He's like tossing them like Papa John. It's like, remember, they're like, have the confidence of a freestyle rapper, because you can be anyone when you're a freestyle rapper.
I just saw that interview with that dude who bought the Wu-Tang album.
Oh,
the guy who was rich. He bought all the insulin and jacked the price on it.
Did he have to give it back?
He had to sell it for money. He didn't have to give it back. But he sold it too,
see, what I didn't know about this album,
I bought it back.
I thought they all went into the studio. I thought they did this. No, it was some German producer was calling each one individually, and they would send him a track, and he would put it together. So it was never supposed to be like a Wu-Tang album. It was just this weird thing that this dude was doing. And, you know, even the guy who bought it, I just saw his interview. He was talking about it. He goes, yeah, you know, I had a buddy who was into it. I was into grunge rock, but I thought it'd be cool. I thought it'd be one of these things that would hold value because it was so, you know, unique.
Yeah,
it is a unique album cover.
That album you should have to climb a mountain and like go see some Sherpas and then go up to a temple and then best the master. And then when he's like, you'll have to fight your hardest opponent. And you go in and you're walking through smoke, and then there's just a pool of water, and you're like, I don't get it. And you look in the water and you see your reflection. You're like, oh. And then when it's done, he comes out. He's like, the album's not that good. It's really not a lot of Ghostface on it. It's more just you, God. But here,
mine is different, Miguel. I climb that mountain, go through the smoke, and I go to that water, and my reflection is my lawyer buddy. I'm like, hey, bro.
We should take the deal.
Take the deal.
I was in jail at the time of the robbery, and they know I was in jail. Trials is long right now.
Dude, I want you to know the weird thing was nobody would talk to this guy. They kind of felt bad for him. They brought him back in the office, and he shows up one day, and he's wearing this sombrero in the courtroom. I mean, this big ass sombrero. And I'm going, what the hell? And somebody goes, well, he got some plugs and he has to wear a hat. I'm going,
what's the hat he chose?
He chose a sombrero. And so for like 2 weeks, he's standing in the courtroom with this big thing. And I'm going, could you imagine his client
walks in with a sombrero? I'll just hop up. Your Honor, I would like to change my plea. Let's just do this. Let's knock this jail time out now.
just walk out.
My lawyer came in looking like a Subway mariachi band. Yeah.
But yeah, you just walk out.
My lawyer's like, yeah.
Bruh, have you ever seen that meme where the dude's dressing like a big suit? And they're like, if your lawyer come dressed like this, you know you're going to jail.
Yeah. I think my lawyer spurs as he's walking cheap.
Oh, it's always the shoes that don't match. The guy comes in like a brown suit with like bright blue shoes, and he's got like one pair of shoes. And I know you don't have a lot of money when you first get out of law school, but you buy, like Steve Harvey, you buy 3 suits. It comes with 3 pants, 3 jackets, and you mix it up. But there's always one dude who has the big, he went to Sears, he got one big gray suit, and he wears it every day. And you're like,
I'd rather my lawyer just be in a polo shirt. That's his lawyer.
Hey, a basketball jersey with lawyer on the back with the number 23. I take that.
Hey, the prosecution is talking. Your lawyer leans into you. He's like, "Are you catching any of this? Because I don't know what he's saying." Oh damn, we're going up against Dean, buddy. You got this, and he's like, "Huh?" Oh, I thought you were paying attention. Hey, this is your trial, buddy. He's like, yeah, this is your life. I think you would pay attention too. I gave you a piece of paper and a pen.
Dude, I can tell you, people come to court and they just don't have a clue what's going on. And my old partner used to be the prosecutor, and I was the public defender, and we were friends. And we cleared courtrooms so fast, and they would have like the jailhouse arraignments, and it was like the television auction. He'd be at his table. I'd be talking to them. I'm going, okay, how long you been in? 30 days, 30 days. Okay, Matt, 45, 30 work for you. Your Honor, 30 work for you. And we would actually clear out this room in probably about 45 minutes when it normally took 6 hours. And the judge was like, how are you guys doing that? Because we're not being jerks about it.
Yeah.
We're being reasonable about this. And the judge knew that, and he started going, he became reasonable, and then the system got reasonable. But if everybody is just, having their own reasons and everything else like that, stuff goes off the rails.
But he walks into your trial. He's got all these like cards, and he's like, he's like opening statements. He's like, Mr. Diaz could not have murdered his wife. And the defendant's like, hey, I'm Glenn Smith. And he's like, oh, ladies and gentlemen, jury, can I run back to my car real quick?
Hey, if I told you at the end of some guy's closing, as a public defender, and at the end of his closing in trial, he goes, and when you guys go to the back room and you guys do this, and you're going to find him guilty, and he sits down, I'm going, dude, did you just tell the jury to find your client guilty? And he goes, what did I say? What did I say?
What can you do as a defendant when your lawyer is messing up like that, Jeff? Like,
mess your pants?
Mess your pants? Right? Like, you can't be like, hey, trial by combat. Let's do this. Do I got to fight all the jury or what? Yeah. I take a better
Every
chance.
client I ever had, they knew, they go, I leave it there. It's 100%. I don't leave anything out there from the day we start to when it's over. Every client looks at me when, hey, Jeff, whatever happens, thank you. Because they know, that I'm dying. I'm fighting judges. I'm throwing down. I mean, the last trial I had, this judge just was doing absolutely bad stuff. And I went after him, and he was like, I'm offended. I'm assaulted. And that was like the end of that day. And she looked at me. She goes, thank you. Nobody ever sticks up for me like that.
When's the last time you were held in contempt?
Well, they always have problems with me, but I had a judge threaten to put me in jail in Orlando. And he was like, and that was when I was a criminal defense attorney. And he was like, you know how close you are to jail? I said, you know what you would do for my month? And he goes, he looked at me, what? I said, you're going to stick me in a room with potential clients?
Yeah.
And he kind of looked at me like this, put his head down, had to turn around because he almost lost it. And he goes, get back to your table.
Hey, Jeff, they locked Jeff up in contempt. A week later, he comes out. He's got like 2 teardrops on his eye.
A Mercedes.
Vatos Locos shirt. And he's like, whatever, man. I threw a little sleepy in Hector. You fight that trial. Did he get down?
Hey, he come out talking about some Mexican in boots.
Yeah. Hey, the Mexicans wearing boots today. I say, you ready for a real trial? And then Jeff gets in there, and he's like, well, I'm a lawyer. They're like, all right, man. You work under Bootsy. He's the jailhouse lawyer. And you're like, I'm an actual lawyer. Yeah, but Bootsy's been practicing for the 19 years he's been in here. And he comes in there, and Jeff's like, what can I help you with? He's like, you know how to read? He's like, yeah. He's like, oh, thank God, that's going to make this easier. What does this book say?
Hey, I got you. You want to hear the worst one? I had a judge send me to the prison in Lake City. And I was like, oh, man, what am I going to do here? And he was a bad dude. He was a child, one of those guys. And he just had to sign off on a document. And I was going, and back then we didn't have money, and they were paying me like $100 an hour. I said, $100 an hour to drive, to just have a dude sign a document and come back? That's like $1,000. And back then, that was huge money for us. And I walked in,
high-fiving.
Everyone, we were happy. Yeah. We were like, hey, call, he's out of the office. He's making money today. And they had me walk all the way through every room in this prison. And then the door opens up and I walk out. I realize they stuck me in general population. And I'm in a suit standing there in the yard in the prison. And these guys did it because they thought I was representing this guy trying to help him out.
Yeah.
And I was going, I looked around and said, and this is where I die. And this dude walks up to me, this huge dude, and he's looking at me. He goes, you in the wrong place. I said, your attorney screwed you over, right? And he goes, yeah. I said, you get 40 minutes with me for free. And I'm a private attorney. I'm not a public defender. And he goes, I said, if you walk me to this guy, have him sign,
Hell yeah,
you got
Jeff.
40 minutes. I cut that deal. I mean, I'm not saying I'd survive in prison, but I automatically know
that day.
where to sell out.
Yo, Jeff looked at the dude. He was like, oh, yeah? Well, let me tell you something right now. I know Buddy. And he did not do good on you.
Hey, Jeff, you say you prosecuted in Miami. So can I ask you how many Miami Hurricanes you put in jail though?
I actually represented a Miami Hurricane once.
Even when he was a prosecutor, he represented.
No, when he was a pro football player.
They were
he
like,
became a pro football player, and it was the craziest thing because he was at a club and the police raided the place, and he thought he was special. And this female cop took him down, had him shackled, and was holding the phone while I was talking to him. She goes, I said, could you just shut up? You need to learn to shut up right now, or this woman's going to, and she's like going, yeah, he's going to jail. I said, you don't understand. He doesn't know the rules. He has agents who don't care. And she wound up letting him go. But, players need to go to a class. I think everyone should be forced to go to a class and go, this is how you deal with a police officer. Yeah. But everyone kisses these guys' asses, so they don't know. And you and I were talking about this arrest the other week about the Tyreek Hill. And I told you before I even saw the video, I said, this is exactly what happened. And it was funny. You saw the video and it played out exactly that way.
Jeff was sitting there representing the Miami Hurricane players, and he was like, I know what you see in the video. And yes, she got punched. But did y'all see her roll her eyes first? Right? To him? He's a franchise player.
Hey, you want to talk about things? Who is the Baltimore football player in the elevator?
Ray Rice.
Ray Rice. You want to talk about, somebody who got screwed over on the internet? Watch what happens. He gets into that elevator. That video lasts around 6 seconds. From the time they were on like the 30th floor till they were down to the first floor. And they said, we were having problems with the feed. I said, they cut that video.
What part did they cut? Two dudes.
They cut the part where she's slapping the crap out of him.
Bro,
for like
Ray
30,
Rice
40
knocked
times.
her out and dragged her out of an elevator. I don't care how much he's getting slapped around, guys. He knocked her out and dragged her out of that elevator like he's done it 100 times before. Why do you think
they didn't prosecute it?
100 times? Because he's Ray Rice.
No, they didn't prosecute it because they had the whole video.
So you think Ray Rice acted in self-defense when he knocked his wife out and dragged her out of the elevator?
I'm telling you this, that they will show that he wasn't the aggressor. This is the law. This ain't the morals. If you're sitting, if put it this way, if you're Tyson and he's sitting there and somebody hits him 50 times and then he turns around and hits the guy once and lays him out cold, Tyson ain't going to jail. But he needs that on video.
Ray Rice knocked his lady out cold.
I'm telling you.
And dragged her out of the elevator like
how many domestic violence cases you think I handled?
Yeah, I'm just saying Ray Rice knocked her out and dragged her out like a caveman.
And I'm going to show, and they're going to show, and you know what the only problem is? They show that you think Rodney King got off because the jury was racist, or they watched the first 9.5 minutes. That's how he walked.
Well, I hate to end the show this way, but we done went into overtime. We got to get about. I hate to end on Ray Rice. I hate to end on Ray Rice.
Jeff Kaufman's like Ray Rice, that guy.
I didn't say he was right. I just said the reason he walked.
So we got to get up out of here.
I'm giving you the law, not my feelings.
James John, this Wednesday, the 18th, make sure you go check James John out at Christy Beats Comedy Club. He's hosting a workshop. 2-hour workshop, $50 to register comedians. If you want to swing through, make sure you check it out in Palm Coast. James John in his workshop this Wednesday. Myself, I will be at Morse Coast Lounge with Sean Finnerty and Carmen Vallone this Wednesday. That is a killer show. Me, Sean Finnerty, and Carmen Vallone. That is going to be a good show. Jeff, where you at this weekend?
I'll be doing Under Oath. I actually got to introduce a great, good rapper. He's called Swayze. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's from the early. He's a new rapper, so
I don't listen to.
But it was cool. He's West Coast reggae.
That's what I'm talking about. Miguel, what you got going on this weekend?
Nothing, man. I'm be with Ray Rice's wife, teaching her to mind her manners.
Hey, man, we got to get up out of here, man. We appreciate y'all tuning in. Shout out to James John. Hope you get your internet fixed. I'm Ken Miller. That is Jeff Kaufman from the law office of Kaufman and Lynn and Miguel Colon Jr. Miguel, do me a favor, bro. Tell them what to do.
Take your ass to bed.
All right. Good night.